I wrote a list for all you teens. So this is 21 of the lessons that I wish I knew when I was a teenager. This is going to greatly improve your success rate at any stage in your life, from preteens to even in your early 20s. These are the lessons that I wish that I knew in my teens and that I can now help you today to overcome a lot of the setbacks and struggles that you're dealing with right now in your life. So the first one's first is learn only topics that you really want to get results from. So this is anything from hobbies. This is anything that you're actually learning in your electives. This is anything that you are going to essentially build on to the next big thing. Like, why are you taking the classes you're taking? And not because that cute boy or cute girl's in the class. You really need to like overlook that. I know how hard it is. Believe me, there's classes that I literally only wanted to take because my boyfriend was in it, or because like that cute guy was in it, or my friend was in it, and I didn't really think of like the bigger picture, which luckily in my case, like a lot of the things that I wanted to go for in those like areas didn't really excite me enough to actually like change topics or anything. So for me, it was really like sticking with what I wanted to learn to grow on to evolve into eventually college, which that would have definitely been the path. But I decided to take it a whole new direction and become an entrepreneur, which we'll get into in another video. So definitely check out my rest of my videos. But on that subject, you have to take things that are going to actually build your life forward. So what are those things? And start planning now. The sooner you can get those things up and out of the way and you can learn about it, the faster you can pivot if it's not for you, or if you need to learn something more in that industry. You can now have some results in that industry that you can now continually build onto it. Okay, next one, study your field of interest. So just kind of like the same one that we just went over, but now you're going to actually get the books. You're going to like get involved in this subject, to like get around people that are already talking about it, get around people that are excited about this, and it's going to most likely be outside of the friend group you already have, maybe the less cool people that you're trying to avoid. Maybe even if you're a little bit older and you don't really have like a friend group, now get into friend groups that actually talk about this. Get into Facebook groups that talk about your subject of interest. Get around people that are always constantly thinking and talking about it, because that's going to involve your mind in thinking about more of it, also coming up with quicker solutions. So definitely you need to be immersed in books that talk about it, in mentors that talk about it online and offline, to in friend groups, and even in like organizations that always talk about that. And it doesn't have to be forever. It's really just jump starting that next big thing for you. So don't look at it like, I'm going to join this organization and I'm going to be involved with it for the rest of my life. Think of it as a launching point to getting the results that you want to see from that, and then taking that and then compounding it to something bigger as you get older. All right, so the next one is don't get weighed down on relationships. Another big one here. So I was in 2 really serious relationships in my teenage years to even in my early 20s. Both of them would have led to marriage. Thank God both of them didn't. Two totally different situations in that. But one, my first like really serious boyfriend that we were with technically my high school sweetheart, we were together a little over 3.5 years, and we planned to get married and all that stuff, and it just didn't happen. And anyhow, it would be a whole other subject to talk about, but it doesn't matter on that. And then my second one, same thing. I was with for like 2 years. We're going to get married and stuff like that, and it just didn't happen. But again, we're not here for the story. We're here about the lesson. All right. So the lesson that I have around relationships, especially in the teenage years and early 20 years, is I don't want you to focus on like, this is the person. This is it. This is like the person I'm supposed to be with, because, we get along, we vibe, we may have great sex, Of course, wear protection, especially if, you're definitely not in your 20s and stuff, because you don't want to end up with a whole bunch of other complications in your life. Especially when you're just starting out essentially your life around that age as well, like actually having responsibilities outside your home. So, you really want to make sure that you're not putting a lot of weight on relationships. And this isn't even friendships, relationships, or friend group relationships. You need to really focus on you. You need to be selfish and be like, this is my values. This is what I want to do with my life. This is what I see over the next 10 years. Maybe you want to have kids and your partner doesn't. Maybe you want to have a house and your partner doesn't. Maybe you want to move across the country or move to another country and your partner doesn't. You need to address those quickly in the early in the relationship. Even if you guys are doing great and you guys love each other and you're infatuated and all that other stuff, if you don't have the values now that you're going to work together and build a life, then it's going to be so complicated, and it's going to end up essentially, I don't want to say ruining both of your lives, because you could definitely learn from it, but you'll be both always working on different projects. And as a successful relationship, you need to be working together. Even in my case, I was together with my ex 20 years. And though we ended up getting separated after 20 years being together, we did have a lot of things that we were working toward together over those 20 years that essentially built both our lives for the better and for it, than if we were together and never worked on projects together. We would essentially be starting from zero all again by ourselves. But we had a period of time in our relationship that we worked really well together. We built amazing business partnerships together, and we both grew as people during that time as well. So again, you have to be in relationships for more than just the relationships, for the actual value that they are going to bring, the value that you can bring to them, that you can work together and build something bigger. All right. So number 4, be your own cheerleader. This is super important. You have to be your own cheerleader, especially because you can't rely on other people to be your cheerleader for you. You have to be responsible when you are in your preteens, teens, as well as an early adult. You have to be responsible for yourself. And in doing so, you need to be your own cheerleader, even in those tough times. You need to be the one that picks yourself up and, just do it. As Nike says, you really just have to do it. And that way you also feel better about your choices when you start to see those positive results, because then you can say, I did this. I supported myself and I did this. And it's the best feeling that I can say has ever happened to me, is just believing in myself long enough that I actually had some results. And I was like, oh my God, I actually did this. And not saying that you have to do it all yourself. Find supporters that are going to uplift you and give you encouragement to do that. And again, you can find those within your friend groups. You can join organizations. You can get a coach. So there's a lot of things that can encourage you. But again, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to go to bed by yourself in most cases, and, wake up and do your routine yourself. Nobody's going to pick you up and get you dressed or brush your teeth for you. So you have to be your own cheerleader day in and day out. And that is how you're going to just live your life from this day forward. You're going to feel great about your decisions. And when you start to see results, you're also going to believe in yourself more, which is going to serve you your whole life. All right. So the next one is get out of your own town. This is very important. Especially with the peer pressure of staying in your town, especially if you have a close-knit family and they all live in the same area. You are in this environment and you need to get out of this environment to really see and understand who you are as a person outside of this matrix that you're in, essentially, because you are going to be a totally different person. You are in this matrix than you are outside the matrix, and you need to really define who you are and your values are when you are outside of it. So go to an out of state event, go to a retreat, go book yourself on an excursion, go to a resort, get out of the country. You really need to do this a couple times, not just once, and you need to go for at least 4 days. Okay, I would say 2 weeks is a good time frame to get out of town and just actually discover yourself, to actually try new foods, to actually get out and see new people and experience new cultures. Don't just book somewhere and just stay in your hotel room or stay in your friend's house. Don't stay in your friend's house. Literally do a solo trip. Go and just discover you. What kind of food you like? What type of people do you like to hang around with? What type of activities you like to do. This is your time to experience a little bit more of life and to really discover who you are. Now, of course, if you are still in school or you're pretty restricted on travel, just try to get into groups that do a group travel a group travel like excursion, or any type of trips that come up in your school. Definitely try to get involved in there, even if a parent has to come, or a sibling or somebody has to come, at least as starting to get you exposure to something outside in your environment where you can start having those bigger ideas and learning more about life through experience. All right, so the next one would be continue to meet new people at events. So, similar to the last one we just went over, you have to continually meet new people to have new, fresh ideas come into your life to break free of your environment. A lot of us basically stay in the same town that we grew up in, that we're influenced by the same people because they don't move as much as we do, and we are stuck in this like family dynamic or friendship dynamic, which isn't a bad thing, but it really keeps you limited on your thinking because the patterns are still the same, especially if everybody's doing the same exact thing day in and day out with their routines and lives, because that's going to keep you in that monotony. I think it's called. It's basically keeping you in the same patterns and mindset as everybody else around you. So the more people you know, the more your thoughts and your patterns of thoughts will change and evolve, and you can adapt quickly to new situations as well as new ideas, as well as you'll get excited for new things to come into your life because now you have developed those skills to adapt quickly to new ideas and people. All right, so we've got you don't have to live their life. Now we're on number 7. So you don't have to live their life. Just because you are grown up in a certain lifestyle doesn't mean it has to be your life. You can essentially build the life that you want to build or have. It's going to take one step at a time, day by day, to actually fully realize it. But as you're starting to evolve what you would like to see your life like, then you're going to start seeing the results. It's just like planting seeds every day. You're not going to see the results instantly, but over time, those seeds will start to germinate and they're going to start to grow, and you're going to start to see the results just like that in your life. So for me, when I was a teenager, I figured, okay, I got to go to college. I've got to, figure out how I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to figure out, okay, what family member I'm going to live with. I got to figure out, okay, where am I going to get a job? I'm going to figure out where am I going to get employment. And my life totally switched around, and I ended up not going to college. I ended up starting my own business. I ended up moving out at age 18 and starting my life. So everybody's story is going to be different, and that's fine. Don't let anybody pressure you to do a different path if it's not comfortable for you or it's not where your life is right now. Make sure that you are making the decisions for your life that you will be happy with when you get older. So always think of it like this. If I'm in my 40s and my 50s and my 60s, 70s, whatever, 80s, if I am some part in my life in the future that I look back and say I'm not proud of my decisions, then it's not the decision for me. All right, next one. Waiting is not the answer. So this is number 8. Waiting is never the answer. If you can get done with something right now, today, then get it done. You don't want to wait and find out that it was never the right decision for you. If you wanted to try that sport, if you wanted to try that musical instrument, if you wanted to join that club, try it now. If you hate it like 2 days in, then you already know what it was like, and you don't have to continue waiting to do it. So find a way to actually get involved with it now. Find a solution to actually start it now, and then start doing it. And then from there, you can quickly assess, is it for you for the long term or is it not? So make sure that any decision that you do today is to actually grow you. And then from there, with that results, you're going to actually build the life that you essentially do want to have. All right. So we got get it out of your system. All right. So this is basically around the mindset is if there's something that you want to try, so kind of like the last one, but if there's something you want to try it now. If you have the access to it now, then try it now. It's a lot easier to make mistakes when you are represented with the question, basically okay, let me think of one. So get it out of your system now. I wanted to work at the Renaissance Fair, and I wanted to actually be an actor or be something in the actual Renaissance Fair. So I ended up becoming, since I couldn't be an actor at the time because it was guidelines and stuff and I just didn't qualify for it, I ended up being a car parker, and then realizing, well, the actors weren't getting paid. The car parkers were. My ultimate results was to get paid because I was saving up my money. I can't remember for what at the time. It might have been to move. I'm pretty sure it was to move because I already had my car paid off. And I was saving up money to move, I believe. And so my goal was to move, essentially, not to actually get an acting job and learn how to travel in an RV with this a company, which I found out a lot of the other people that were doing the acting, the reason why they were doing it for free, because they were hoping to get a paid gig in the next 2 years to actually buy a trailer so they could actually go traveling with the Renaissance Fair people. And I'm like, well, that's not what I want. So the quicker you get it out of your system, the quicker you're going to learn little things that you never knew. Even like I said, even if it wasn't the direct path of like, oh, I want to be an actor for the Renaissance Fair because it looks so cool. They get to act outside. I got as close as I could by taking the parking lot attendant job, where you actually like point people where to park, and people are dumb. They literally park like triple or weird ways, and you're like, you're gonna get stuck. But either way, I took a position that was close enough that I can learn about the other thing I was looking to go for, which essentially I was thinking, well, maybe the next year if I can work toward it and get toward it. But then as I got closer to that, you see, I took action. I found out that it wasn't exactly the right fit for where I was taking my life. So again, the quicker you can get it out of your system, the quicker you're going to get the results, the quicker you can make those changes. So then we got take risk on your education. Now you are going to have to take risk in your education, and this is investing money, investing time, and learning things that are outside of your normal education, your normal things that you have to learn for school to get that diploma, to get that education, to go through your college courses, wherever you're at in life. If you're not in college and you're just looking to like change your life, you're going to have to invest in your education. This is actually buying online courses, this is actually going to seminars and courses, hiring mentors, hiring coaches. The more that you can invest in, like money wise, into getting access to people that have the knowledge that you don't essentially have, that have the skills that you essentially don't have, you are going to speed up the process, and you're going to get quicker results that you can transform your life instantly. So make sure that you're always constantly evolving your education and your skills, and that is going to make you an asset to any business, or as well as being your own entrepreneur or boss later on. All right, so here we go. Now we've got take risk on your investments. Okay, that's the next one. This one's number 11. So take risk on your investments. This is anything that you can invest money or time-wise into something that essentially is going to pay off later. All right, so this is like anything from, we could say coding projects, to we could say like taking some money and investing in somebody's startup idea, investing in some stock, investing in day trading, investing like whatever it is. Of course, you're not going to be day trading, of course, as a teenager, unless you do come across, some money, unless you saved or you're doing like it for other people. But you can start investing in smaller things like buying and selling stuff online. You can start. Let's see what some other things are for like maybe you say preteens to teens. You could start a small business, anything from designing soap to designing like jewelry. There's a whole bunch of ideas out there. Make sure that you're picking something that you are essentially know something about, or you can have somebody else do it, and then you would be essentially the sales and marketing person. But you're going to want to start investing in something where you can start it now, and that essentially you can sell off to somebody, or you're going to grow it into something else and involve it in something else. This is going to teach you quite a bit about yourself and your discipline and your values, as well as you're going to also be able to figure out how to manage money and compound it as you grow. All right, the next one is, let's see, challenge yourself. Okay, I love to challenge myself. And how I challenge myself is I often like feel like I'm stuck. So I'm like, today's challenge is going to be doing 10 videos for my YouTube channel. So that's how I would challenge myself. Mostly like my challenges would be about 10 days to 30 days. So for example, a big challenge that I like to do every spring is I like to do 100 miles. So as the weather gets warmer, I challenge myself to do 100 miles in 10 days. And that's essentially running, jogging, biking, whatever it is. I just got to do 100 miles. And so I break it down to 10 miles a day, and that essentially will get me to 100 miles within that time frame. Of course, I could do more if I wanted. I could change it up from running to biking if I really need to. But even though I do try to stay in the walking or jogging aspect of it, I do give myself the allowance of, doing it by bike. But see what I'm saying? So I challenge myself to do like a set goal in a certain amount of time. And that keeps me excited and motivated to see if I can actually do it. And it pushes me forward faster, which makes me feel good. So I encourage you to give yourself a challenge. All right. So the next thing is find another way. There's a lot of things, especially as a teenager, you're going to come across that you're going to feel like it's not for you. Maybe people even tell you straight to your face it's not for you, it's not possible, there's no way that can happen. Find a way. And if it's not the way that normal people do it, it doesn't have to be your way. There's always a solution to every answer. Like multiple solutions, excuse me. There's always multiple solutions to every answer. Think of it like math. There's a lot of ways that you can solve a math problem, but you always get one result. Same with your life. There's tons of ways that you could start off your life, but you can always end it the same way, like, get to that result. So how can you go about it a little differently? So start thinking about things differently, get other people's opinions if you have to, read different books, just get out a pen and paper and start brainstorming possibilities. And that's going to quickly give you a lot more to work with, as well as it's going to actually help your flexibility skills as you grow and evolve that process. All right, so let's see. The next one is, we're on 14 now. Have an all-in mindset. So have an all-in mindset. All has to do with like having something that you really want, and just going, nothing is going to get in my way from getting this. So I don't want to say like ruin your friendships, ruin your relationships, and everything like that, but just everything outside of that thing that you want to do is no longer as important. So say if you are you're into sports, you're into band, you're into crafting, whatever it may be. You might be into multiple different things. You like on the weekends, you might like to help your parents work on stuff in the yard. You like to like mow the lawn for another neighbor. But yet you want to become a really gifted at the violin, as we'll say. And so you have to be all in on the violin, and everything else, if it impedes with the time that you need to practice to get better at the violin, then nothing else matters. And you've got to be really clear with friends and family and whoever you need to tell, like say, listen, I'm all in on this. I really want to do this. And you've got to stick to that. Okay. Of course, if you do have responsibilities, you're going to have to figure that out. But the allotted time that you can actually give to it, maybe instead of like watching TV, maybe instead of like sitting down to eat every night at a certain time. Maybe you can work with your schedule or your parents and figuring out a better time that you can do other things, so you can go all in on whatever you're trying to accomplish. So try to stay as clear and focused on the one thing as you possibly can during your free time, and this is going to get you the quickest results. All right, so let's see. Read personal development books. Personal development books will really, really open your mind up to the possibilities of any type of limitations that might be holding you back. And people that wrote personal development books have gone through many challenges in their lives, so they have a lot of knowledge to share on how you can overcome, of course, any of your challenges in life. So I encourage you to pick up a couple of different personal development books. Of course, my favorite one is Napoleon Hill's. He's got a ton of different really great personal development books. I highly encourage you to check out any of his books. I love them all, so I won't pinpoint exactly one, but I'll leave some information down below on this video that you can check out. All right, next one is start a business. And yes, I did say start a business. The reason why I say start a business is because this is going to be something that's going to quickly develop you as a person, as well as give you sales and marketing skill that's going to help you in any relationship or any business that you come a part of. So start a business, and it could be literally anything, because essentially you're starting it to build up those skills. Learn about managing money. Learn about managing money, learn about inventory, learn about customer service, learn about how to do accounts payable, learn about hiring other people and delegating tasks to them. So start a small business, and essentially you can close it down, or you can grow it. It doesn't really matter. But as you start a business, you are now developing skills that most people don't have. So you can help future businesses if you decide to work for somebody else, or you can essentially start your business at any time throughout your whole entire life. And this is the perfect time to do it, because the sooner you build these skills in your lifetime, the easier it's going to get the next time you do it. So even if you don't do that great of a job the first time, by the like second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th time, 12th time, it doesn't matter. You're going to keep getting better and better at being an entrepreneur, to actually like founding a business, to actually growing it. And I recommend anybody start the business because, like I said, it is a really great way to build up your personal development skills. Okay, next one here. We've got 17, learn how to leverage credit and debt. All right, so this is probably for a little bit older kids, not kids, teenagers, right? Older teenagers, even people in their 20s, is to learn to leverage credit and debt. So credit cards, you can get personal and business credit cards. You can learn how to deduct anything from your income off of your business if it has something to do with your business related. So learn about that. And as you're developing a business, you are going to essentially read about it. You're going to watch YouTube videos. I recommend watching YouTube videos on starting a business and managing a credit and debt in a business. But you're going to need credit, and you're going to need to learn how to correctly use credit and credit cards, because that's going to give you so much more access to a lot of things later in life when you're looking to buy a home, when you're looking to start like an equity line off of your house, when you're trying to actually invest in properties, when you're looking to expanding your business. You're going to have to learn about that, because that's the only way businesses grow, is through using debt. All right, so start learning about that now, and you'll have a head start when you are going to need those skills later on in life. All right, so let's see. Care for your body and start with the food you eat. Now, a lot of people care for their body through exercise or through sports. I want you to first look at what you eat. Make sure you're getting enough protein in. Make sure that you're getting enough iron in. Make sure that you have your parents or yourself go and get your blood work looked at. And that's going to give you a good, clear indication on what you need more in your body. Go talk to a bodybuilder if you want a body like a bodybuilder. Go talk to a swimmer if you want a body like a swimmer. Have them coach you on what they eat. Ask if they will provide you some kind of like routine on when you should eat, what you should eat. And that is going to be a foundation for the rest of your life. And that is literally the best foundation I can give you. If you want a certain type of body type, then you ask that specific person that has that type of body. What do they eat? What does their routine look like? What does their exercise workout look like? But it all starts with your food. So make sure that you are getting the right nutrition for you to grow into the person that you want to become. All right, so let's see. The next one is rid of all your toxic friendships and influences. So your friendship group, your family group that you have around you really affects who you are. You might not think it does, because you're a bigger person than that, or you have a really strong mindset. Eventually it will. You'll notice little things in your life like later on that you're like, why am I having this mind block? Why am I having this thoughts around this? And it all has to do with your influences, the people that you're around most of the time. So if you have a lot of toxicity in your environment, if they're friendships, cut off that friendship. Literally, don't feel bad about it. Doesn't matter how long you've known them, cut it off. And you'll feel so much better when you're away from that for a period of time, that you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I was dealing with that. So just cut it off. If they make you feel bad, you don't need to keep them in your life. If they make you feel good, have more of them in your life. If they make you feel like crap, don't have them in your life, okay? There's toxic people out there, and let them deal with their own problems. It's not your responsibility to be anybody's babysitter. If it's family, it's going to be a little bit harder to navigate, but just try to limit your time and try to stay focused through having better friendships. Like, find more friends that are going to keep you positive, that are working on themselves, that are a forward looking person more than a back looking person, looking at the negativity and the doubts and talking about people. Look for people that actually are thinking ahead, like thinking about their goals, like striving for new things to do in their lives. Those are the people that you want to gravitate toward. All right. Next thing, we are almost at the end here. We've got one more, I think. Let's see, oh, no, I've got two more. So we've got forgive and forget. Don't let the past rid you of your life, okay? So don't let the past rid you of your life. There's going to be situations in your life that you're like, oh my God, but this held me back, or this made me feel bad, or this person made me feel bad. And it's going to pop up a lot in your mind. Your mind's going to try to remind you of this, because that is the way that your mind is trying to keep you safe. It's like, this happened when you did this happened around this person, this happened, so you can't do XYZ. You're always gonna have these thoughts in your head that is based on earlier influences in your life. And again, it's like that fight or flight response in your brain, sometimes called what is it? The reptilian brain. And that is really there to protect you, but you need to get over that and just say, it happens. I accept it. I'm moving on now. And you literally need to just tell yourself that, like, I know it happens. I accept that it happens. And now it's time for me to let that go, because I don't want it holding me back. It's, my life is greater for me not thinking about it all the time, because I have so much more to live for. So just literally repeat that for yourself. You can rewind it. You can write it down. You can put it on in your bathroom if you must. Just keep repeating that every single day to yourself. And so that will give you the courage to keep moving forward. Last one. Read Wallace D. Wattles' trilogy, The Science of Money, Well-Being, and Being Great. Absolutely love these mindset books. They're very simple to read. Any age can read them. And it's going to give you the basis of thinking a little bit differently about life, as well as how great you are as a person. So definitely check out the Wallace D. Wattles books. I will put the link again below with every other link that I mentioned in this video, and some other resources for you guys to get rolling on your ultimate life and getting excited about what's to come. So I can't wait to hear your stories, guys. Make sure that you do save this video and come back to it at any time. And come back and leave a comment and tell me how all these tips are helping you improve your life. Love to hear from you. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. My name is Amina.